Hi, huge movie fanatic Nate coming at you in early October 2016 for the review for the sequel to the Blair Witch Project by the name of Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows. Now I'm afraid to say, or not afraid, I'm sorry to say I own this movie. I got it previously viewed for $2 at Half Price Books years ago, so it's not that big a deal. I kind of wanted to have it. I don't know why. Rewatching, having just rewatched it, I don't know why I wanted to have it. But and one thing that one thing I don't understand about the title is maybe I'm dense, but having rewatched it, I don't know why it's called Book of Shadows. I don't know what that refers to. Maybe if any of you know what that Book of Shadows title refers to, maybe you can let me know in the comments. But having just recently rewatched this, I don't understand what the Book of Shadows part of the title means. So on to the review of Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows. Now after Blair Witch Project did really well for an independent movie, did financially really well, the plan was at the time very kind of whatever ambitious. The plan was they were going to do, after that movie did really well, the plan was we're going to do a sequel and then we're going to do a prequel. That was the plan back in late 99, early 2000. And sure enough, having rewatched this movie, you can tell that the wood stuff is probably shot in the spring of 2000 because, it's like you can see little green buds on, trees and stuff like that. I probably saw this not long after it came out on video. I didn't see it in the theater. Are you kidding me? Probably me and my girlfriend at the time probably rented it on home video, just out of curiosity. And having rewatched it, I do want to say, before I completely trash this movie, I do want to say I like how it begins. It begins with this really cool kind of the way Blair Witch Project, the whole movie was, where it begins with this like news report. I think it's been a couple weeks now since I've seen it. But it begins with this news reportage kind of thing about, it's kind of a Scream-esque thing in a way, because it's kind of like, the movie starts with after the Blair Witch Project, it's kind of like turning the whole thing on its head. Now that everyone knows Blair Witch Project is bullshit and just a movie, it kind of opens up with this documentary / whatever news, snippet segment of, well, now that the Blair Witch Project was such a huge success, people are flocking to Burkittsville to see if there's any truth to the legend, or if it was just made up bullshit for the movie or whatever. And they kind of do the same thing where they interview some supposed people. I mean, it's all bullshit, but in the opening of the movie, it's supposed to be interviewing these, people and this and that. So I kind of liked how that started, and I'm like rewatching it and I'm going, oh, this ain't so bad. Well, that's the best part of the movie, in my opinion, is just that kind of bridging the gap between, the first one was released originally, as I said in my review of the Blair Witch Project, was released originally as being something that, purported to be real. This footage is actually real, of these real campers and this real stuff happening to them. And then after, of course, it came out, it's like, nah, this is just bullshit. So what I like about the beginning of Blair Witch 2 is that it kind of, I don't know, balances that aspect of even though it's, people are just flocking to this place to see, even though it's just a movie, to see if it's real or whatever. Anyway, I've said it already. Long story short, that's just like a maybe 2, 3, 4 minutes segment, and then after that it's all downhill. It just sucks, in my opinion. And I don't just hate this movie because it's a sequel to the Blair Witch Project. I hate this movie because, in my opinion, it just sucks. It's such a cheaply done thing, in the sense that, having rewatched it, it just occurred to me, probably for the very first time, that I really hate, how... Oh, basically, another thing is, obviously the first one is found footage, and this one is shot like just a normal movie, and I don't know why they went that route versus just doing it like another found footage thing. But the movie said that, the incidents that happened in this movie were actually, said to have been true. Basically the movie's about a bunch of fans or something that went out to see this spot, in Burkittsville or whatever, that, that part of, I don't know, I couldn't follow it all, but you know, that's part of the, you know, the Blair Witch lore or whatever like that. So, and they say like, you know, this, names have been changed. This is a recreation of what happened in the fall of 1999 or something like that, which is bullshit, because if you know anything about nature and trees and shit, you can tell that this was shot in the spring, because like I say, the little green buds are sticking out of the end of the little branches of trees and stuff like that. So, but obviously when you see that in the movie, you know, knowing that you've just been fucking fooled, or I wasn't, but a lot of people were fucking fooled by the first one, you know that it's just bullshit anyway. And that's just so stupid to do that after people knows that the first one's dumb anyway, to even say that this is an actual account of what... It's like these movies are just based on bullshit, you know, of what happened in the fall of 1999. It's reenactment, and people's names have been changed for their privacy and stuff, and blah blah blah. So I don't know why the decision was made. I guess to keep things different or some shit. The decision was made to make this like a normal movie and not found footage. It does have a combination of, I guess, it's mostly normal movie, but there are, you know, the characters do videotape themselves, and that's a part of the whole reveal of what happens, which is so stupid. Basically, I will just basically tell you the basic premise of this piece of shit. Basically what happens is, you know, these people, I don't know if it's like a van full, you know, all kinds of different people are doing all these Burkittsville tours or whatever, and this Blair Witch Hunt and bullshit. The van's kind of cool, that's all. That's the best part of the movie. And this and that, so we have this character who's like, we have shots of him formerly being in a mental hospital, and some dumb scene of them putting a hose down his nose and pouring shit in there, and it's just like, what's this? I don't know what the fuck this got to do with anything. It's so stupid. So this guy, I don't know if we're supposed to think he's a killer because he's formerly been in a mental institution. This guy takes a van full, not very many people. It's just like, I don't know, 4 others or 3 others or something like that. Van full of people in the woods. I don't even know where they're at, but they end up at this, oh, maybe where the footage from the first movie was presumed to have been found. They kind of stop and camp at this like old ruins of like an old ramshackle house, you know, just rock house or something like that, with this big tree growing up in the middle. I think it's where the footage for the first movie was presumed to have been found. Bullshit. But the thing that's really sucks, having rewatched this movie, is that only the first third of the movie actually takes place in the woods, and probably because just for the ease of shooting it. It's really not easy to shoot, you know, a whole movie like 90 minutes worth outdoors, because the weather and all kinds of just, you know, cumbersome aspects. So this movie just takes a lame-ass, lazy route of only doing like the first, you know, third of the movie, if that, probably a little less when all's said and done, actually in the woods at this old formerly rock house spot where tapes are always found or whatever. Basically, long story short, these people go there. They end up blacking out at night. They end up losing some time, like I don't know how much time, 6 hours, something like that. Who knows? Some of their shit papers that they brought out there. I don't know why they brought the only copies of their research papers out in the woods. You fucking wouldn't do that. Got shredded, and they're like raining down in the morning and shit. Anyway, long story short, they come to find out through watching their footage back. This is really stupid, in my opinion. That and they do this really stupid way. I don't know how they unlock this. I don't know how they unlock this footage and like watch it in reverse, or I don't know how it's even done. I don't know if it's probably not even a real thing you can do. It's just some contrived bullshit the way they actually, pardon me, you know, are able to mysteriously unlock this freaking footage of them that night. Basically, it turns out, having watched the footage of them back, that they were all like possessed and doing this and shit and orgy and all this crap and dumb shit and stuff. And the whole movie is about basically them just like killing some people, a cashier at this country store, and killing they come across like another group of the Blair Witch, you know, kind of people that pay to go on a Blair Witch tour, and they end up killing them. You don't know they killed them until the end of the movie, where you find out there's footage of them killing them and putting them in a, you know, pentagram symbol. And it's just like, has nothing, in my opinion, nothing to do with like the first movie, the Blair Witch lore, anything. It's almost like, you know how like when Nightmare on Elm Street 2 came out, and it's like just using Freddy's name and image, and it's just kind of like nothing to do with, you know, I mean, I like Nightmare on Elm Street 2 for certain reasons and stuff, sentiment and whatever, but the sequel for Blair Witch, you know, 2, Book of Shadows, is just like, I don't know, I don't understand the connection it has. it seems like someone who hadn't seen the first movie made the sequel is how it plays to me. It's like it has nothing to do with, like, from what I can tell, maybe I'm not deep enough to see the meaning into the movie, but oh god. So I rewatched this thing, I'm like, oh my god. Like I say, the last hour, only the first 30 minutes or less or something like that take place in the woods, and the last hour or so is in this guy's just stupid, whatever, house slash video editing suite slash, frickin' warehouse that they were going to demolish, but he bought for $100 or some dumb shit, and it's just like, I mean, this thing was, this movie just belongs in like an episode of The Twilight Zone back when it was like 30 minutes long, I mean, it's not a stupid idea, like the whole, losing time and realizing with playing back video that, you've done all kind of heinous things and shit. I'll give them that. It's not a stupid idea, but I don't really, I just didn't feel like it fit into the Blair Witch. I don't know. Maybe I didn't really want to see it at all, but I guess my disdain for this movie is just, I don't know, just, in my opinion, it has like little to no connection to the first movie or the Blair Witch lore or anything like that. It's just like, I don't know what the hell. But anyway, long story short, luckily this movie just bombed at the box office in the fall of 2000. Came out a year later or something like that, somewhere around a year later after Blair Witch Project. Bombed, no one freaking saw it. There's some justice in the world, or at least in the fall of 2000. And the plans, obviously, at that time for the Blair Witch prequel were scrapped and, shelved or scrapped or whatever. So there is some justice in the world. So it wasn't until, of course, 16 years later we'd get the Blair Witch, which I kind of would have liked to have seen that prequel. Obviously the Blair Witch movie that just recently came out is not that prequel because it takes place after whatever. So I'll tell you all about that in my review of Blair Witch coming up soon. So I guess that's my review. I don't think I said stars yet. We'll give this 1/4 of a star out of 4 stars. It's absolutely abysmal to watch. I mean, there's nothing that I like about this movie at all. I don't know why I'm giving it 1/4 of a star out of 4. But I'll give it 1/4 of a star out of 4. I guess just because of some of the woods shit. The idea of them losing time and realizing only to be the bad people themselves isn't all that stupid. It'd be cooler in a 30-minute Twilight Zone episode. It's probably in a 30-minute Twilight Zone episode. It's just not something to fill a whole movie with, in my opinion, because, yeah, it's just whatever. So this movie's just kind of nasty, dumb, and just all around stupid. So thank you very much for watching my review of Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows. Again, please, if anyone knows what Book of Shadows means, please let me know in the comments. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.